Hi everybody, this video is to review for AP-CSP loops using robot grids like this. So for the first example, we're going to go through a basic program. So a basic program doesn't have any loops and it's just a series of steps, and we're going to show how the robot would move on the grid. So here's our robot. We're going to start it pointing up. This is our robot, the triangle, and we're just going to start it in this middle position, but we'll start wherever the program tells us to. So in this position, it says move forward. So we're going to move forward. We know that forward is whichever direction it's pointing towards, one box. That's this. Okay, so check, done. Next one, move forward. We're going to do that again. One box, check, done. Then it says turn right. So now we have to think, if we are this robot, we're facing this way, right is that direction. So I'm going to pick up my robot and turn it that way. Okay, that's our turn right. Check, done. Now we're going to move forward again. Now move forward is no longer this direction because our robot's facing that way. So sometimes it's helpful to actually turn your grid and just making sure we know where the top is, and it says move forward. So now we're done with that. And then it says turn left. So again, we're facing this direction, so left is that way. So I'm going to turn the robot left, and now I'm going to turn my robot grid back where I started. So I have my name sheet at the top, and I notice that my robot ended here pointing up. So I would draw the final position right there, and that would show this basic program. Okay, our next program that we're going to look at is called a while loop. A while loop is something that loops, it repeats while something is true. So the way that we see a while loop is we always see the variable listed at the top. In this case, the variable is called steps. Generally, it starts at 0 as a value, and then we have a while statement and then some conditional. So while steps are less than 3, we're going to move forward, turn right, and then steps plus plus means increase the number of steps by 1 every time we do a round. So I'll show you what this looks like on our grid. So again, we're going to start right in that middle box facing up with our robot. Now, we don't have to do anything here. That's just defining the variable. And we have our while steps are less than 3. So at this point, and we're just going to document what the value of steps equals across each of the rounds. So right now, steps, I'm just going to write it down here, is equal to 0. Okay, and we're just going to keep track. So is 0 less than 3? Yes, that's true. So we're going to move forward and turn right. So here we'll move forward. And then remember that turn right is going to go this direction. So now we move forward and turn right. We did that once. Steps now increases by 1. So 0 plus 1 is 1. So steps is equal to 1 at this point. Go back to this stage. While steps is less than 3. So 1 is less than 3. So we're going to continue to do this. So move forward and turn right. Now remember, our robot's facing that way. So we're going to just turn our grid, move forward, and turn right. Okay? That is where our robot's going to be. I'm going to turn it back so that the top is still here. Then we're going to increase steps by 1. So our 1 becomes 2. Now, while steps is less than 3, is 2 less than 3? Yes, it is. So we're going to move forward and turn right. So now I'm going to look at my grid. It's pointed down. So I'm going to actually turn it all the way around so I can see it pointed up because it's easier to tell right from left. We're going to move forward and turn right. Okay, oops. Turn right. There we go. Now, I'm going to turn this all the way around so that the top is still at the top, and that's the position of my robot. Okay, now we go back here. Steps is becoming 3. Is 3 less than 3? No, it's not. So then we stop our loop. So we've done it 1, 2, 3 times. Okay, so usually, as long as this says less than, that's our trick, that this is the number of rounds that we do. A round is this setup here. So move forward, turn right. Steps plus plus is just increasing the value of this variable, so we don't actually do anything with our robot here. We just do whatever the movements are. Okay, so for our next program example, we're going to do a for loop. This is slightly different from the while loop for a couple reasons. So we can see the word for instead of the word while. And then we also see var I equals 0, I less than 1, I plus plus. So it's putting all of those things from the information across several lines, kind of squeezing it all into one line of code. Instead of using the word steps, we're using I. So I is equal to 0, just like steps was equal to 0. I is less than 2. Remember, this is generally going to be the number of rounds. And then I plus plus is like steps plus plus. It's increasing by 1 every time we do a round. Inside of the program are the actions that we're actually going to complete every single round. So forward, forward, right is 1 round. And remember, we saw that there's a 2 here, so that means we're going to do 2 of the rounds. We'll keep track of what I equals, so it starts at 0, and we'll pay attention to how that changes each round. So first round, I equals 0. We're going to move remember our robot starts in the middle, pointed up. It says forward, forward, and turn right. So our robot is going to end up right there. That is 1 round. Now I increases by 1, it becomes 1. 1 is still less than 2. So now it says forward, forward, right. Again, our robot's facing that way. So forward is not this direction. Forward is based on where the robot's facing. So forward, forward, and right. And that would be the second round. I becomes 2. 2 is not less than 2. So at that point, our robot stops because this program can't run. If this part is not true anymore, it can't run, right? So we've run it 2 times, forward, forward, right, forward, forward, right. And that's the end result of where our robot would be. All right, here's our last example, the most complex. It's a for loop with conditionals. So we can see the word for, we can see our parts of our loop that we need to know. We start with 0, I is less than 3. That's gonna equate to the number of rounds that we do of whatever is in here, and increasing the steps by 1 every time. Now you can see that we have these statements, if, can, move forward. This is something that we have to evaluate. If it's true, we do whatever is underneath that is indented. So pay attention to if there's an indent, if it's slightly moved over compared to if it's far out on the left. If it's moved over, it's specific to that if statement. So let's try this out. We're going to start in that middle position again. It says if, can, move forward and turn right. So in this position, can we move forward? Yes, there's an empty space, there's no barrier. We move forward, and then it also says to turn right. Remember, right is this direction based on the direction of the robot. Now we're done with that part, but we're going to move on. No matter what, no matter if this is true or false, we're still going to turn right because remember that part's not indented. So again, if I want to turn my road map here and turn to the right, okay, because we always have to face whatever up is. I'm going to put it back so that the top is the top. Now I've turned right. If, can, move forward, move forward. So let me actually go back and pay attention to where this robot's going. Can I move forward? Yes. So I'm going to move forward 1 box. That was 1 round, okay? So I can just kind of put a little tally mark. That's 1 round. I have to do it, remember, 3 times. So let's try this again from the top. If I can move forward and turn right. All right, then it says turn right again. That's going to be here. Then it says if, can, move forward, I'm going to move forward. Okay, so that is round 2, all right? Now the last round, remember we want to do 3. If I can move forward, turn right, here and right. Oops. And then we're going to turn right again. If, can, move forward. So I'm going to move forward. Now that is my final position because I've done 3 rounds, and I would draw my robot in this middle position pointed down, and that is a for loop with conditionals.